Hey, what's up guys? Omar here, broker and CEO of Alden Mortgage and Ome Realty. So we're gonna do another mortgage rate update, and then we're gonna talk about something, this story that I got tossed on my lap about deed theft. Deed theft is something that actually everybody should know. I'm gonna tell you what it is, I'm gonna tell you how to avoid it, and I'm gonna tell you exactly the story about this guy in New York that actually has been doing this. Now this is a common thing that happens, which I'm going to show you how to go ahead and protect yourself. As a mortgage broker, as a real estate broker, this is what I do. This is how I could go ahead and help you prevent a lot of this headache that people are going through. But let's go ahead and go on with the mortgage rate update. We're going to be pricing out 10 different mortgaging products as of 7/26/2022 for the month of July. 30-year fix will be sitting at 4.49%. 15-year fix will be sitting at 3.59%. 30-year jumbo will be sitting at 4.95%. DSCR loan, which is a debt service covered ratio loan. This is a loan product that is mainly for income producing properties, rental income. So this is a loan product that we don't really care about, how much money you have. We just care about, is the income producing on this property enough to cover the debt and some more. So like for instance, if you're bringing in $1,000 a month in rent and then the principal, interest, tax, insurance are $1,000, now well, you have a 1-to-1 ratio. The ideal place that you want to be is somewhere in the 1.25% ratio. That'll give you the best rate on these DSCR loans. I know 1.25 would just be like, for instance, if your principal, interest, tax, insurance are $1,000, you'd want to be at 1250, so on and so forth. That's sitting at 7.86%. Bank statement loan will be sitting at 7.12%. FHA 30-year will be sitting at 3.86%. 7/6 adjustable rate mortgage will be sitting at 4.5%. USDA, which is one of those zero down payment mortgaging products, that'll be 30-year fixed, 3.89%. VA 30-year fix, that's a loan product for veterans. That's also one of those zero down payment programs. That'll be sitting at 4.05%. And the hard money fix and flip, first time that it's been under 9%, at 8.85%. Hey guys, selfless plug over here for up to 50% commission rebate. 0% listing on selling your current home or any mortgaging assistance. Make sure you go into the link below. I go ahead and help people out save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, more than any company that I know myself personally out there. Nobody charges less, nobody gives back more than me. So if you did need any assistance, link in the description below. Now let's get on with the rest of the video. So let's go ahead and first let's go ahead and talk about deed theft. Okay, deed theft is something that happens, and honestly, this is why deed theft is the reason why I actually hate wholesalers. I think wholesalers, real estate wholesalers, are the scum of the earth, disgusting human beings. Fuck them all. I hate every last one of them. It doesn't make sense how somebody is allowed to go ahead, and essentially what they're doing is called straw buying. So let me tell you what a real estate wholesaler is. A real estate wholesaler will go ahead and ideally, if you have a home, you're selling this home, what they'll do is they'll go ahead and put your house under contract. Then they'll have person B. This is like an investor or another real estate person or another buyer. And then they'll go ahead and say, put your house in contract, hypothetically, let's just say for $300,000, knowing that this person will sell it for $320,000. And then they'll go ahead and put it in. So the home will essentially have two contracts at the same time going in. So they'll go ahead and sell it from one to another, or there'll be some wholesalers that go ahead and take over, not even wholesaler, but investors, they'll take over your existing loan, or they'll say that they're going to go ahead and take over your existing loan. And this is kind of like a sublease type of deal where they'll say, you know what, I'll go ahead and take care of all the back pay that you have and all of this and blah, 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 blah. Just go ahead and sign here, sign here, sign here. And then what they'll eventually do is they'll just go ahead and take the property. They'll go ahead and make it into a rental income producing property. Their name is nowhere near it. And then whenever they have enough into it, they'll go ahead and write the deed off into their name. So deed theft, I got my trusty note. Deed theft occurs when someone takes the title to someone's home without the homeowner's knowledge or approval. Two of the most common ways are, number one, this is why title insurance is such an important thing to have. That's why it's always important to know exactly what's going on at the county clerk's office. But title insurance usually covers most of this stuff. But forgery where the scammer fakes a homeowner's signature on a deed and files it with the county clerk. And that's the first one. The second one is fraud. Fraud where home buyer signs the deed over to a scammer without realizing what they are selling. Now this is something that is very common when it comes to these goddamn wholesalers or these people that are trying to turn your home into an investment property. Disgusting. I don't understand. I've spent so much time and so much money to become a broker, and for me to go ahead and go through all this licensing process and everything like that, for these motherfuckers to come in here and then all of a sudden just take over. Disgusting human beings. I never would work with a wholesaler, never will, never have. They could all go to hell. So now that I got my little vent session out of the way, so there's this lawyer in New York, okay, Sanford Solny, okay. He is this big real estate guy, but he's not a real estate guy. He's a lawyer, and you know, lawyers are, you don't trust a lawyer. I hate lawyers, every last one of them too. Lawyers, you know, all they do is they bleed you for your money. And the reason why I don't like lawyers, here's another case in point why I don't like lawyers. Unless you are in the business and you have a heavy backflow of money and you know exactly what you're doing and what you're looking for, because there'll be, I had a buddy that had a case. They had a case, and the other lawyer on the opposing side, the defendant, they knew that they had a case. The plaintiff didn't have a case, but he wanted to sue him anyway. So what they did is the lawyer ended up calling the other guy's lawyer, and the other lawyer what ended up happening, and it's an ongoing thing right now. The other lawyer, what he said is like, you know what, you don't have a case, but if you want, how long can you keep this going for? This poor bastard, they kept him going for 2-3 years, where they were just charging him, and then at the end of it, he's like, there's no benefit to this, I'm not getting anywhere. These lawyers were in cahoots afterwards because they knew they were going to win, but they were making money off of it, just residual money off of this guy, because he was so adamant. And instead of his lawyer having a fiduciary responsibility for him, he went ahead and just, you know, said, you know what, I'm going to make a few bucks off of you. You're going to do it anyway because you're so adamant. He's so emotional about going and suing this guy, but he didn't give him the proper guidance to let him know, dude, you don't have a case. What are you doing? So that's why I trust no one, absolutely trust no one. But this guy, Sanford Sony, what he did is he kind of preyed on people that were like, you know, were able to become homeowners, which is an amazing thing to be, is to be able to purchase your own thing. But he would go ahead and harp on people who, A, did not speak English too well, was not educated enough, did not have some sort of formal education behind them to understand what was happening. So what he did is he went ahead and started snatching up all these residential buildings across the city, and then he would just go ahead and churn them out for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he would tell them, you know what, you have back pay, you have a lien against your property, you're going into foreclosure, you're doing this, you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of it. And he never did. He would just go ahead and tell them that he did, and then he just kept on renting it out. So in the meantime, what he did is he went ahead and rented them out, never paid the foreclosure fees, you know, because it was going to foreclosure, never got it out of foreclosure, never paid any of those fees, never contacted any lawyers. But what he did is he said, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this. Let me go ahead and get it out, and I'll take it. Either A, he would go ahead and snatch it up for pennies on the dollar, and he would tell them that it made it sound like he was doing them a favor, or he would just go ahead and not pay any of it, because the balance may have been too high, or the back fees were way too much, or there was way too many liens, and he would just rent it out for like a year or two. So this is what you do to go ahead and to make sure that you don't get put into the situation. Number one, don't ever deal with a wholesaler. If a person states that they're a wholesaler, or in mid-contract in your purchase agreement, your RPA, you make sure that you state that there is no wholesaling allowed. And if you are straw buying, which a straw buyer is pretty much, like I said, it's one person qualifying for somebody else that cannot afford it. Essentially, in the same sense, that's all they're doing, except they already have somebody that's qualified, so they're just going to go ahead and give it from one to another. RPA is very important. Don't ever let that the RPA is just a residential purchase agreement that whenever you submit an offer on a home, that's the form that it goes on to. Just make sure you don't deal with them. But never transfer ownership of your property. Never turn over your deed or transfer ownership of your home to a mortgage assistant company, okay? I'm a mortgage broker, okay? Nobody will ever call you except me. That's the only person who will call you. Or the person that is directly servicing the loan. Like for instance, if you went to Bank of America, right? Giving an example. If you went to Bank of America will now be servicing your loan. Bank of America could potentially sell this off to somebody else. Do not do anything until that deed transfer or that servicing transfers over and it reflects onto your credit that you are actually being serviced by this new company. So, in essence, an assistant company, all they are is just a secondary company that calls and says, we are calling on behalf of Bank of America, on behalf of Wells Fargo, on behalf of Chase. No, nobody will ever call on behalf of those people. It's either, hey, we are now servicing your loan. You're going to go ahead and submit your payments, which typically what you could do is you could keep sending your mortgage payments to Bank of America, to Wells Fargo, to Chase, follow up with them and say, hey, is my is my mortgage actually getting serviced by this person? Always go back to your original servicer and then double check and make sure that is who they're actually is getting sent to, who is now servicing that loan, and they will give you a better idea of exactly what's going on. So don't ever trust a third party company. Don't ever let yourself get into one of those things. Avoid paying upfront fees. It's almost illegal. It is actually illegal for any loan modification to ask for upfront fees. We do not, the only fee that we will ever ask upfront in the mortgaging side is going to be your appraisal, and that's it. I will not ask for your credit fee up front. I will not. I mean, you can. You could send a direct link and make them pay for their credit. But majority of the time, as the loan progresses, there is no upfront fees. I don't get paid until that loan closes. Nothing is upfront until the loan closes. That is under any circumstance. The only thing that you'll be paying for is your earnest money deposit. And then whenever you're on the way to closing, you're going to go ahead and wire your money, which wiring, be very, very, very careful who you're dealing with. Make sure your broker and whoever else is involved, your title, your escrow, everybody is involved, they have a personal relationship with it, because wire fraud is so crazy. Because what happens is mortgage brokers, they'll get complacent. They'll just get whatever, right? They deal with people that they don't really know, or they'll try to go with whoever it is. Or if you, the consumer, the person that is obtaining the mortgage, you decide that, hey, you know what, I want to go ahead and deal with X and Y, Z title company or escrow company, and then you end up using them. Now that mortgage broker has no relationship to it. He gets an email because he can't get contact with them. It's from somebody else. The account numbers end up getting changed, but he thinks that it's from that escrow company. Nobody follows up, nobody calls, nobody does anything. You see how this could get really, really weird really, really quickly? So there is no upfront fees, and beware of guarantees and promises. Be wary of trusting companies or individuals that guarantees or promises you that you will receive a loan modification or any outcome with a mortgage. Legitimate organizations and individuals can only promise to work hard for you, and that's it. That's the only guarantee that we have. We cannot guarantee you that you will get a loan. We will not guarantee you that you will get a loan mod. I will not ever promise to lend. That's why you have this thing where it says this is not a guarantee to lend. You'll see those little disclaimers on every one of those things that you watch. Yeah. So that's going to be your mortgage rate update for up to 50% commission rebate, 0% listing on selling your current home, or any mortgage assistance. Link in the description below. Like, subscribe, comment, all that other good stuff. Till next video, guys. Really appreciate you watching. Peace.